Today, my wife June and I went to a get-together of old friends from the company called ex-EASAMS. This is a very rough cut of the raw material shot. Ready to do things online, whereas I tend to use paper. And here's the man, Dave Broomfield, and right, you were just telling me how you set up these things a long time ago, wouldn't it?
Well, we always have them at lunchtime, unless we have an evening do.
Right.
So for lunchtime, when anyone asks me what lunchtime means, you know, like what's the start and finish time? Well, really it's just midday to 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
That sounds familiar, and I suspect a few beers were consumed in that period.
Well, I can never see the end because I remember leaving about 4 o'clock in the afternoon one time, and there was still about half a dozen of them here getting in another round. I've no idea when they finished.
Right, well, I'm sure Dave won't want too much stuff taken, neither with the other reprobates gathering, but anyhow, we'll probably let June take a few clips later, just so we've got something. So, that's it, and lovely golf course. If you want to have a game of golf, June, there we go. So we're near Power here, and June's just looking online at the lunch menu, and she said, yeah, get the food early before all the other grumpy old guys nick it all. And so what I've got here is the printout, which I've just passed across the table, one thing being the note at the front, and that's the ex-EASAMS bit amongst all the other stuff. So right, now I'll look and decide what we're ordering. Using her smartphone to actually order what she wants, which was going to be egg and chips, and for me it was
Diet Pepsi they've got.
Yeah, that too. Anything.
Half or pint?
Oh, pint.
Pint.
Yeah, definitely a pint. Right.
Right, Phoebus.
With Jim Cole, who managed to get here, and everybody else is arriving, but Jim's sat opposite. Yeah, exactly. Opposite Dave Gibby in '66. after the couple of, so everybody's arriving. That's it. So stop it there. I've just got some stuff which could be very useful for the COVID thing. The guys that have got the same symptoms within the last few weeks on the day of a trip to Canterbury, which was severe vomiting and everything else, even though it wasn't a long-lasting problem, a bit like a severe flu. And that was just like the latest variant of COVID, which sister and niece got. But it was also just after they'd had a jab, booster jab. So at the end of the day, you say, well, to be sure you don't know what it is. That's it. All the people are gathering now, so that's enough of that. This is Linda King, right? And rather than bore you all the good stuff she did at eASAMS, she's going to go and sell over to June in a minute, my June, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's crazy about golf, right?
I wouldn't quite couch it like that. Very keen, I think.
Very keen, like
I would say.
Like Pat Bennett that we know. But anyhow, that's a slower time thing. So that's the main thing. Just wanted to get a clip. She wanted to speak over with David, and yeah, well, join who you wish, but
yes,
June's down the end here.
I will indeed.
Yeah?
June Goss.
Okay.
A very old good friend.
Yeah, exactly. Believe it or not, the online booking system didn't work. So June is having to revert to writing down what we want on a bit of paper using my pen, so that it could be all separately. No, not for us, is it? No, sorry, mate. Somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm ringing O2 because she had problems getting through the network. Okay, that's fine. And Linda's joining us. Right, lovely. Okay, let me stop filming. So I'm going with my order to the bar. Here we go. Right, this is Eric Hall, a real reprobate, right? And so I'm grabbing the chance to get there as I was on the way to the bar to give them my order. So anything abusive you want to say, Eric?
No, just, we're very few and far between rig engineers. They're rare breed. Always have been.
That is very true.
Seldom seen.
We're working covertly.
Yes. So I hope everybody's okay in these troubled times, and I hope to see you soon.
Right, okay then, right, I'll get to the bar now and you get on the mix to the rest of them. Okay. Said they were really relaxed about it. They're going on to serve others, but we're just putting the order in. So that's it, job done. All nattering away here, but somebody said, who's that guy over there? And it's that miserable old soul. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Who? Jeremy Lyons. Jeremy, I don't know. Right, that's Eric, of course. Well, I don't know, but we were just chatting about how long they've been at the company. Yes. And anyhow, say what you like, how you like, but anyhow, it doesn't matter. But I noticed some Scots accents there.
Well, not here.
No. Eh? Over there. Over there, right?
They were only Scots accent.
Yeah.
If you'd said Geordie, I'd have gone wrong.
Yeah. So
They were only let in, what, very recently. It was a big furore at the time.
Yeah.
Whether we would let them in. They're leaving when the poison dwarf wins.
anyhow, very quickly, how long were you at eASAMS then?
I was there for 40 years.
Oh, it's not bullshit, is it?
No, that's
Yeah?
40 years.
Blimey.
1968
Yeah?
till 1968 till 2000.
Right.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, you've got to remind me because I can't remember now. So roughly whereabouts were you working in terms of departments?
We was in the REIT team. We was responsible for the test and trials. Things and hardware software integration of the great team. Yes.
Yeah, I can remember.
Before that was Nimrod and Hovercraft.
Blimey.
Various other unmentioned products.
Exactly. You don't need to know. Right, okay, right. I can't even remember your name.
You probably don't even know me. Ray Gregg.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but I spent most of my time in Munich. So
Munich, of course.
Yeah.
That's how the beer drinking culture got into Lion Way.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it was quite.
I've got your telephone
quite a
number.
popular thing to do.
It's been pointless in this last few years because
I joined eASAMS in 1972 and left in 2005.
I'll give you a bell. Are you free any days or?
Most of my
Right.
in Munich.
My
77.
that I played with.
Came back in 94 for a year. Couldn't stand it. Went back out. So basically, I was in Munich for about
Not right.
No.
I've got to go back in. So you had to know
Yeah, Mike, I thought I recognised Mike.
Ted Skritschke was in Munich as well.
Yeah.
Kathy was in Munich.
Right.
We're all a Munich gang.
Right. Well, what I recall is that I joined eASAMS in 81. 81, and that was coming over from Shakespeare Centre in Holland. And the key thing is, I started overs, right? And all the guys around me were working on IDS, interdiction strikes, right? So we had Italians, crowds, with the Munich faction, and a few Brits as well. But the key thing was the beer drinking culture. And what it was,
I never thought of that as being back here, but we went to Munich in 77.
every office had a fridge to keep the beers at the right temperature, right? And it was quite recent years when they suddenly realised, oh, some of us have a bit of a drinking problem, right? And some twat said, oh no, you can't have a fridge with beers in every office. You can't have an office party at Larn Way with drinks up the stairs and all the rest of it, right?
That was the day.
Those were the good old days, weren't they? Right. So
I don't remember that because I was doing it out in Munich. So the fact that it occurred in
Excuse me, I can remember taking you home from one.
No, that was before. That was before we went to Munich.
Of course it was. It was denying that you
But
never
that
had
was
a
the
drink.
Queen's
It's
Award to
It's a
Windsor.
heinous crime.
is it true that business trips from the Lion Way or wherever office tended to coincide with the Munich Beer Festival?
Never.
No, that never happened.
It was always a critical moment.
So, who's this bloke over here then?
Ted Skritschke.
Sorry?
Ted Skritschke.
Okay.
First contract was with Frimley at 1971 for Jerry Major.
Blimey, 71. Blimey, that is early years, yeah.
Right, early doors.
Not the earliest, because we have got one or two that were there.
Well, Jim was.
Yeah.
1968.
Yeah, exactly. So what sort of stuff was it then? Because I mean, everything's unclassified now.
Maintainability was Jenny who was doing
Yeah?
then and all the...
Guinness, yeah. Well,
Then we went to do the Harrier.
To where?
Harrier in Kingston. See Harrier.
Oh, Sea Harrier. Yeah. Of course, Falklands and all that stuff.
Then I was going to go to MOD and the guy said, oh, no, do you want to go? An agent called me and said, I'll meet you at the airport, there's a job going in Bremen. I've been looking to get to Germany for a while and I already had a job offer from MOD. I met the guy at the airport, he gave me a ticket for the flight, went out there, we should have met in Bremen. One of my mates from Wharton on the comms. I'm sorry, the sun was shining. It always helped at an interview. And then me in Germany for a good few years. Then down to Munich with ESG. And then they sent me, but I managed to learn German. And said, can I get a position back in Carmelie? My wife's expecting. And they sent me back to Carmelie.
I'm going to give you one of those. As everybody knows, I give out those all the time. I get them for free, right? So you've got the contact. If you want to come around and break our windows, you can. But he probably won't want to give his address or anything, but that's fine. Right, that's the end of that rather long clip, but absolutely brilliant stuff. Look at that, those guys. Right. It's going on absolutely lovely here. And Eric's been giving us a load of detail about the end years of the company, behind the process of eASAMS, the trade and over British Aerospace. And one of the things was eASAMS was going to take over British Aerospace. It made a lot of sense. Lots of material, but more importantly, people for somebody who wanted to follow up professionally on the history of that fantastic company, ex-EASAMS. Elliott Automation Space and Advanced Military Systems. Although it was never called that, it was always just ex-EASAMS. Oh, hello. Okay, I'll just here a moment. Okay. Yes, it turns out the reason. What was it, Jim?
I was the only person left on that table.
Yeah, so was it a load of men? Or was Linda still there?
She's gone on to the other table.
Ah, right, okay. So, yeah, so these guys are still trying, getting their beers in and all the rest of it. And, yeah, well, so far, so good.
I like naturally.
Yeah, it turns out there's a guy here that we haven't done a little video interviewing. So, okay, what's your name?
It's Bill Myers.
Bill Myers, I recognise the name.
Yes, I used to work in quality insurance. I was out with the IPT in Munich.
Yeah, another Munich guy.
Worked for Doug Pavia, Jeff Metham, and I knew David Dwyer quite well.
David Dwyer, yeah.
Well, in fact, almost anybody who likes drinking. And I was out with project Out in Demand, and we used to get smoothie John Doyle, the Desert Comma of eASAMS.
Yes, indeed.
Have the Saudi champagne, which is not quite the same as real.
So what project? So you've been working on IDS, I suppose, Intelligence Strike Variant.
ADV.
Oh, ADV.
All Horrocks.
Oh, Horrocks, yeah.
Yeah.
So air defence version.
Yeah.
But that's UK only, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. And that horrible guy over there, Terry Kenzie, I think he worked on that as well, didn't he? I see a lot of Terry. I'm just zooming into him. There you go.
Dave
Oh, of course. Yeah, Dave.
Business manager.
Yeah.
Derek Hitchens.
Oh, Derek, yeah.
Mr. Hitchens.
Yeah, of course. I shared an office when I started there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, who else? Oh, there was a character who used to be a brickie who worked on the rigs, and Terry, you remember him, was Jim Cole, of course,
Yeah.
Radar.
Yeah. Seen Jim Cole. Yeah. Yeah, we had a nice little bit of banter with Jim earlier. Because a mate of mine, you know, Dave Gibby, that I knew from the NATO days, he started in 1966 with eASAMS, and he sat across the table with Jim Cole. The video, I don't know whether you got the email a year or two back.
Oh yes, I did, yes.
Yeah, well, most of it was banter at the expense of Jim about how Jim spent that day ringing around about
Oh, a clever lad. Remember Rod Saunders?
Rod Saunders, yeah, because Rod worked for me for a little while, and I think he worked over at the UK Atomic Energy Authority stuff in his later years. How about Trevor Saunders?
Trevor Saunders, I remember somebody from the RAF team that was there, said that he never met anybody so good with only one head. And that's Trevor Saunders.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. I spent a lot of time with Trevor in his later years. What an old rascal.
Oh, totally, yeah. But great fun.
Anything you can remember about Rod? Because I know he passed away some years ago now. Rod Saunders. They weren't related, of course.
He was just so clever, and also he built a harpsichord, I think, in his house in Penny Crane. And I remember he used to have a very strange friendship with Alan Westrap.
Oh, I don't know. We've got to be careful when you talk about strange friendships.
No. This was somebody who played golf. Alan Westrap does it.
Yeah, as Linda King does.
Most of his time swearing around the golf course.
Yeah.
And Rod Saunders, who was more into the higher realms of classical music, harpsichord, and yet they used to chat and talk about interesting things together, which I found fascinating. Over a beer, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to start another clip, so I'll make sure we got this clip here. So let's just check that. When she saw Bill interrupting his drinking, of course, Bill's going to say a bit more about what he works on at ex-EASAMS.
Oh, well, I originally went in to work on the ADV software team. I worked with characters like Chris Parry. I still communicate with. He's out in Wales. Pete Monday came back, who is quite a character. I'm trying to remember the other people, but I remember they first put us in Mahogany Row by one of the directors, and I'm trying to remember the name. He used to be in
Not Howard Surtees, of course. Howard
Surtees. He was next door.
And Daboon.
He was Daboon. And he complained about the noise that we youngsters were making. There were four of us, and also we were chatting up the secretary. And within 2 weeks we were moved into a more suitable position away from that. Then I was persuaded to join quality assurance. I can't remember how that happened. Under Doug Pavia, I was sent out to the IST in Munich. Went out there several years. I remember my initial interview included characters like John Williams.
John Williams.
John Williams.
Because there's so many John
Big friend of David Wyatt.
This is annoying, isn't it? When in your life you say there must be at least three or four John Williams.
John Williams back in, I think it's all Marines down to Portsmouth. John Williams, I remember he was it's a win-win. P11s. Deck computers.
PDP-11s from the NATO days.
And I met quite a few characters. I remember the Christmas do, well, there a few years. Frank Bond used to come over with Howard Surtees. And I still keep in myself and my wife quite good friends with Monica Escher and her husband. And we're hoping to see them in a few months' time.
That's what Labour would.
Because that's where the idiots.
But at the end of the day, what's important, you see, people don't realise it, is people that are involved. And although ex-EASAMS was a fantastic place in terms of those writers, the pioneering work, the Yanks, that's why the Yanks even got good principles like Hastings. But at the end of the day, it's the people that count. It's the people who've got the knowledge and the contacts. So if the guys are like this, and journalists, I'm talking about professional, like some of the guys that put those panorama programs together, then well, there are probably guys here that might be prepared to talk about it.
It's interesting. I've just been talking to another person from the quality assurance department, Eddie Cook, and he made a point that none of us are, we're not great academics. What Eddie said, and he's right, it's the only company he's worked for, or I've worked for, where whatever question you had, whether it was you had a a problem that involved advanced aerodynamics, complicated electronics, difficult software, or who was the first person to come up with the design for the pyramids, there would be somebody with EASAMS who could answer that question.
That's it, and he got it in one there, I think, which is that the important networks around places like the copy machine.
Oh yeah.
And right, it might be guys working on different groups or even projects, but that's how really important decisions were made. And I can remember, for example, the subject of the counter trade deal from Malaysia, that went on for some years, very useful. You know what I mean? Not a much bigger contract, but I remember a conversation with, counter trade, well, it was going to be peanuts, peanut oil, but I understand they got this is before the internet was out. Oh, they got things called proton cars, proton. So, of course, Arnie Weinstock says when the bid goes up, Sam Slater was sorry, Sam Slater, sorry, Sam Lloyd.
Oh yes, Sandy.
Sandy, I love it, they brilliant lady. But anyhow, so anyhow, basically, this package went on the train, and sure enough, Arnie Weinstock probably personally, just his office said, yeah, no worries, all the current cars were very cool cars, and that's when they came into the country. But the key thing is, a lot of the modern stuff was just like, so it wasn't sort of
totally, yeah, I mean that's a great thing. Yeah. There was a good social network within the company.
Yeah, I've said already on another conversation that the Munich beer culture got into EASAMS so that every office had a fridge. You know, you've heard of that before. Oh yeah, I saw it firsthand. Right, well.
No, that's great.
Yeah, okay mate, lovely.
Really enjoyed talking.
Yeah, okay, right, okay. God knows what he wants paid in, but don't worry, in my wallet I've got some foreign currency which includes $1 million. Remember,
Oh right,
yeah, 40 billion, which means, believe it or not, the Dutch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's something I've learned today.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the other two old.
We've just been joined. We were having a serious discussion, and sorry, I didn't catch. Huh? Denise. Right now, as it happens, Denise is one of the few people observant enough to see the video, which is 2 hours long.
I didn't watch you.
No, you weren't exactly. But there's a few minutes of introduction of time in the 70s when I was working as a NATO scientist, right? And you were being a fireman, I think. Soon after we were married. Looking after. You were looking after 3 children when we moved out there. Because young Samantha was born in 76, right? But yeah, so you probably saw that there's so much of it. And you did see the first few minutes, and it took us ages to develop. This is the bit yeah, so that's it. So it's noisy. But what can you say? So where did you work? And
I started straight from school in 1973.
Right.
And it was a month before my 60th birthday. So I was interviewed by Frank Coote.
Yeah.
And I worked with him and a lady called Rose. I can't remember the other lady's name.
Sure.
And then we worked together, and then from there, data management took us over.
Right.
And then I worked with Harry Eden.
Yeah.
And then from there, I worked there, and then I worked in different offices.
I've got a good idea here because it's so much noise. I don't know how much is going on here. I'm going to delegate because originally I wasn't sure how this would work out. I thought nobody would want me to use the camera, make a video clip. And so June was ready to do the stuff on her phone, right? But in slower time, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know how much time to spend talking because.
Are you going to continue all this information in an interesting biography?
Yeah, exactly, and it's for
That's what needs to be done.
yeah, exactly, and that I'm looking for somebody to do it, and you never know, this might be the bloke, I don't know. Which is people that do video editing for a hobby, you know. But Anyhow,
That would be really good.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what at the end of the day, I spent my life getting other people to do the work, whatever it is, and it can be useful in recent years. There's not enough hours in the day, and so, right, that's enough of me talking for a moment. Just close this clip off, right? Sorry about that. That's probably an important thing to go in. Introduction here then, Bill. Introduction.
I'm going to introduce you to Ray Gregg's lovely wife, Julie.
Has he forgotten your name? Has he? My hearing is bad.
He's just said my name.
What was that? My hearing's bad. Julie. Okay, Julie. So, whereabouts did you work at eASAMS then?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I'm just a hanger-on.
Oh, just like this one. This is the other half, right?
You were a little helper as well, weren't you? You helped all of us in our time to travel, which was normally up to
Are you talking about work
yeah.
or social?
Well, no,
So am I right that you come to give somebody a drive home because he's had too much to drink? Yeah, that guy there.
It was a promise.
Yeah, okay, right. I have to do the same for her because she tends to have the gin.
Would you like a drink? You?
No.
I'm all right for the moment, mate. No, I just stopped this video.
I'm going to the.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well, I'll have another cocoa then.
How long are we staying?
Well, as long as it takes. Okay. Well, you need to get away.
Well, I'd like to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll play it by ear, right? If necessary, you can take the car and I'll plumb a lift. No, right. Okay. I'll end this.
What are you having?
I'll have a Pepsi, please. That's my glass. Hang on, I can pay for it.
No.
Okay, well you'll see why in a minute. But hang on. So, what's your name? Sorry.
Tasha.
Tasha. Right, Tasha. Doing the business. There we go. You can't get out of it now, Dave. Okay. You say wave your fingers, whatever it is, but everybody else is in it. So the main thing is, okay, well that's it. There'll probably be a video going up in the next day or two. Okay. And it's brilliant. Thanks for organising it all.
Over and out.
Yes, over and out. Bang. Lovely.
Bye, Joe.
Yeah, that's one Real Saudi, which I've often tried in pubs. And in fact, there were a number of contracts that eASAMS were involved in Saudi Arabia. One allegedly was the £14 billion contract related to tornadoes, which was known as Al-Alaman, meaning the dove. But there was a dealing room system. And from what I recall, well, you can probably explain it more, but in summary, we supplied a PDP-11 based computer system which was doing all the financial transactions around the world over crypto secure satellite links, and it was obviously all the computer stuff, and then but a great big dealing room with lovely furniture and a great big Arabic wall clock, and anyhow, system was put in brilliantly, but they were having problems actually getting the money, getting the Saudis to pay for the system. So what can you say to anybody, right, about what it turned out the problem was?
Well, now you've actually explained that it's a dealing room system. I was not involved with it at all. However, I remember the story about the clock. I was involved with the port surveillance system, and John Doyle came over, and we had a lot of problems. There were several of my boss was arrested for taking photographs of kids playing football, which they didn't take kindly to, and I was arrested with a terrible character called T. For we were by the petrol station and having a cup of coffee, and this chap who had come up from the southern part of Saudi Arabia, which I believe now is another country, didn't really like us, he didn't like anybody, and we were arrested. And we were let off by the Saudi prince, and I think the place that this character was from was Yemen, where the Saudis are now having a major war.
Oh, yeah.
We were lucky to come back alive.
Yeah, because again, we're talking about guys that got smiles on faces, talking about stuff that is really horrible that's been always going on in the world. And as by coincidence, we've got a rich Saudi guy building his palace across the road from us, but that's a completely random thing. But the main thing is, knowledge about these things are still in the heads of guys that remember, mostly in the category of grumpy old men, isn't it?
Now, I wouldn't say I'm grumpy. What I do remember very well was at the hotel at ex-EASAMS Brothers there was no alcohol,
Oh,
and I like a drink.
Yeah, of course.
But they had brilliant curries, and there was a chap called Paul Moss who went on to Singapore Teleview and then left and said it was on company, who really enjoyed it, and we had great fun. Every Saturday there used to be a series, I can't remember the name of it, but we used to watch this religiously. It was a science fiction series, and we had this non-alcoholic beer and pretended that it was real beer. It didn't work for me, but it did work for this character Keithy, who could drink 10 pints without any trouble, and he went out there, I'm talking about 10 pints of strong lager, went out there and could drink 10 pints of this non-alcoholic beer from Germany, and it had the same effect on him. You tell me what that means, how that works.
Now,
That's true.
You triggered a memory, but you probably may know it firsthand. All I heard was at some stage, apparently, we were wining and dining somewhere out in the Far East, I don't know, not the Far East, beg your pardon, I think it was in North Africa, but I don't know which country. Wining and dining, and there was a banquet, okay? And the banquet, one of the courses involved chicken, okay? And then some bright spark decided that over the top of the chicken there would be rolled up crinkly bacon. Am I right? Which I don't think is too...
Bacon? Well, that wouldn't work in Saudi.
Well, it wouldn't work in Saudi, it wouldn't work in Israel, or in a lot of places, would it? But you don't know anything about that story at all. He didn't ever get involved in catering, did he?
That is not quite true. I did actually work on a ship in Amsterdam in many years ago. When I was actually I just started working for ex-EASAMS. A friend of mine worked for Lloyd's Insurance and had a job out there. He invited me out for a holiday, and I was so drunk with him.
Horror of horror, get drunk.
And a friend of his who happens to be the captain of this ship that was stuck in Amsterdam port, and next morning I found that I'd signed up to, because their chef, the cook, Chinese cook, had legged it with the taking from the bar, which was apparently a common thing, that I would do the catering for them for a week, which I did. And it was great fun, and it meant also I looked after the bar as well.
Right, there you go. There's probably no connection, but you
no
never
connection
know.
at all.
Well, no connection with
However, I did have some money pinched, and when I went back, I had to report this to the security, the security charge, Jeff Davis, I think.
Yes, Jeff Davis, I remember well.
Jeff Davis, who said this is a ridiculous story, and that's at the end of it. But I like Jeff because he was, when we signed in once, as Biggles and various other characters in the at the entrance, we got told off, but we weren't sacked.
Right, actually, the link I was going to say, again, possibly completely irrelevant, but you never know. They talk about ships that pass in the night, you know, which is a good friend from primary school days that we were doing art together, Gus Russell. In fact, in his early years, after art school and everything, and the later years, it was all art, storyboarding in a traditional way. It turned out he worked for P&O and for a number of years as a waiter, right? And so we've been going over some of those memories recently, haven't we?
Yeah.
But again, the chances are that every now and again you get people that share memory and you get these coincidences. But anyhow, I've been gathering lots of information here which might be useful in corpse proceedings against some of these guys, but I doubt it somehow.
And you will be writing this all up in the eASAMS bio.
Somebody else could do that. I think that's the name of the game, isn't it? Get somebody else.
You've got to get it going.
Yeah, well, I make the raw material, raw material. Right, okay, so I think we've said over and out quite a few times so far, which is good. Airports.
Somebody's got to do it, because I mean there was a film about Facebook, wasn't there?
Oh, well,
and that was, I mean, compared to eASAMS, it was tame.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So if somebody could make a whole pile of bloody dots in Hollywood for doing Facebook.
You're right. Yeah, you could say, why was it that TSR2, the Americans, for very understandable reasons, had to say, don't like TSR2. You know, the Brits had invented the digital computer. You know, Bletchley Park followed through. Francis took it up, and probably Elliot's as well. You know, then you had we invented the jet engine, right? People make political decisions wrong, like when you sell planes that are not military with jet engines into those lovely Russian people, and they are, because I've got friends there. But the key thing is, when you talk about eASAMS, that relatively small company that did pioneering work on Nimrod was the first time it became famous, wasn't it? Which was mentioned in the House of Commons.
A small company did so much.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the key thing is, it was the first systems company. So it said you have to take you have to take the systems approach. So it's not fiddling around with just software or the hardware systems, it's the whole system, which includes people, everything, procedures. Oh, that's enough true bullshit, isn't it? Right, okay. Do you want to wrap up, Jen?
Yeah, you're going to lose your...
Oh, I don't want to lose that.
There's got to be filmed. Now, what was the... Look,
need that.
We went to, a couple of weeks ago, we went to see the film, Phantom of the Open.
Phantom of the Open?
Oh, yes,
with Mark.
Yes, I've read
we both like Mark Rylance.
Right, yes, I've read about it.
And it was something quite simple, where you got a golfer who wasn't a golfer.
Ah.
And do you know the story?
No.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, shall I stop this one now? Yeah, because we have got another golf thread somewhere, which is that her dad was in golfing world, and golf was his game. Loads of golf connections, but I'll wind up this one right for the moment. We're zooming in on the fact we're at a golf course and what's up on the wall there. What a lovely afternoon at the Pine Ridge Golf Course. So time to go home now, I guess. Maybe we'll see some of these guys soon. Back to the car and back to home. So back to the car. Very expensive car. Must be worth what, £200, June?
Probably.
Exactly. And ready to go home. Important stuff in the back. Servo leads. Not for model aircraft, for robot boats of course. And back to the wheel. Obviously filming safely as I drive. How likely is that? No, I don't think so. And tracked by the experimental SatComs tracker for anybody who's interested where we are. So we're turning left here. Are we allowed to?
Yes,
around
yeah.
here. Near the Windmill Pub. And the road is blocked further down near the Beresteed, but we can take a road left before that, which is Coronation Road. So we're coming over the boundary soon down here. So as it happens, this is probably an interesting clip for some of us. That is, on the left, is where the Queen and Prince Philip lived. Since the other place was burnt down on the other side, we're about to become near the border, so the Surrey-Berkshire border, I think. Just here, and we've got to go round the bend very carefully. And Coronation Road is round, which is practically a blind bend on our left. So indicate now, so the car behind knows. That's it, road ahead closed. Round here, Coronation Road, and this is the stretch of road after we come around the corner here. The Chris Wayne, the BBC Transport correspondent, back in probably 1995, drove on this straight stretch using the voice recognition with their software, and another car with a crazy driver for the BBC was driving alongside him filming it. Let's go back a bit. And we're now, I'm trying to remember what we see next, but we're getting near the convent, aren't we, Jim? Do you remember what's next?
Yeah. Well, there's the primary school. There's a playing fields for the convent school.
Yeah.
And then there's the primary school and the church.
Right, okay. So we just follow this road and it eventually comes out, I think, near South Ascot. And we're just coming into South Ascot now, the edge of South Ascot. And probably only, I don't know, a quarter of a mile from the junction. We have to turn right. We're then a short distance from our place. So when we get to that junction, we decide then whether we stop filming, because it could be a long wait, but we'll see, not till we stop there. So that's past where the St Mary's School is. Here. Lovely church. Catholic school church.
School.
St Francis. Woodlands Ride is a route up to a nice walk into Swindley Woods, across the railway bridge. Right, this guy here, not sure who he is. Oh, he's going in. Right, this is where we turn right, so we just see what the traffic's like. Let's just see, they come round, that doesn't look too bad that way.
You'll need to
I'll
move
have
up a
nudge out
bit.
a bit more so I can see. So I can see now that,
After that beamer should be okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So we're now on the normal route home, which is coming from the middle of Ascot, past the railway station, through South Ascot. I'm trying to think the name of this road. Is this Devonish Road?
This is Brockenhurst Road.
Brockenhurst Road, there's me silly person. That's because I think the Brockenhurst pub and hotel many years ago was on our right, gone past that now. And we're coming up to what we used to call the Berestead Crossroads, when Nick Nells did some filming here of a Lexus Sora. That was a major milestone. So the Berestead Hotel is on the right. We're coming up to what is now a roundabout in recent years. So we're turning left at the roundabout. It's a care home that's gone up. That was the patch that the royal family, part of it, Fergie, used to live, their parents, Major Ferguson and others, and we're turning into Armitage Court now. And we may as well carry on with this clip, just in case anybody wants to find our place without sat-nav. Left into Armitage Court. Keep on some building going on here. Across there, friends. Left and right, in fact, everybody around here, well-known friends. Reach into a house on the right, number 22, which has got a robot boat outside that has been under test. That's it. Lovely. Thank you very much. And we've got home. Snoopy's robot boat. The camper. Warning signs. Yeah, make sure you notice that. Dash cam being used experimentally. Yeah, but lots of cameras. Yes. Flatulent gnome on guard duty. And we go right through. Nothing switched on here at the moment. Nothing switched on there. So, back home. Toadie, you've been guarding the place? You're doing really busy, aren't you? Yeah. And that's where we've been. If anybody has an interest, that says 24 hours. So, from home down to the golf club and back. So, that's where we spent time that anybody could see looking at the SatComs tracker. So we're at the Pine Ridge Golf Course, and that's where we parked the car, and where we were at sat was in there. And of course we got home okay. So a few of my friends track me in terms of where I am, and that should show where I actually went, including inside the building. Well, the personal tracker software says that I was there. Well, I was probably part of the time, but I thought we were in that part of the building. Of course, it's probably much better kit than this. Got this years ago, and it's got a camera in it as well as a GPS tracker and everything else. Do hands-free. But I say, not the business of selling it. Probably people will find much better products around, but just shows you the stuff that's been around for years. For those few interested, there's a clue. Position Wi-Fi. So that wasn't using the GPS, it was using the Wi-Fi network, and so that was good enough as a position.
So my website gpss.co.uk has been an open book for years, including the page that's called eASAMS. The press page has got a wide range of subjects, and eASAMS is just one of them. So that's the eASAMS company logo, TSR2, Nimrod, Tornado, air defence version of Tornado, Emacs, which I did have a hand in, and projects like ADKISS. The eASAMS page, that's been public for years, has got lots and lots of information about projects, people, which are by far the most important thing, and gatherings. TSR2, world leading, way ahead of the Yanks. Pity it came to an end. Wonder how that happened. Quite a few guys had worked on TSR2 before eASAMS. One of the videos. TSR2 today, so let's do a quick riding tour around it. One of many videos. That was only a year ago. One of our many gatherings. Some of these faces are familiar. And of course the Barossa operation, messing around with the technology on the Barossa ranges.
The Barossa operation was named after the military training area north of Camberley in England.
Let's get to the company hype at the end.
Received from Alpha 200 as follows, quote, suspect apprehended, unquote. The Barossa operation was an example of how eASAMS can bring together the latest technology and products to provide an integrated system.
That's been up there for years. 1992.
eASAMS is the original systems house with a reputation for objective consultancy and successful systems implementation. eASAMS software flies the Ariane rocket. eASAMS designed the Tornado avionics system and supplies the operational in-flight software. eASAMS is the prime contractor for both strategic and tactical command and control systems. ADKISS, the Air Defence Command Information System, will give the British Army effective command and control of its many hundreds of air defence weapons.
Don't forget, that's all history. That was, I think, filmed in 1990, 91, something like that. It was broadcast then. Long time ago.